anticipate about years. On December, it's never the worst time to live. Our life, the mass destruction and spoiled behavior was nevertheless shameful for the mass. He hit the ground, working his way around the sound. The false fall, he was impaled. Vigorous rhymes filled the vigorous chime. Time was behold in the enemy's mind. Crime was consulted in the Father's line of work. The nature we outlook, the promise we have took. From the preachers we have looked at for our own relationships. We saw out to overshook concepts conceptualized in a lab. Like you picked the poison that subdued our minds, the needle that stabbed mankind's. Welcome to Generation Now, the front face that wore the crown so loosely in a frown. The outcasts are getting locked up, the election is coming up. We are losing our minds with debates we have fiddled with beforehand, as you service your backhand in order to show how I can formulate your accent. The bloodshed mocked them, the lore said flock them, entering the hawk them, hawk it. Shimmering armors of them. They think they have so much, but it's just so few. The man in the cell will awake someday and you will most likely fade away. But him, the real person of fear, righteousness will win. And you will be so devastated you will feel the sin. She was there until she drifted away in all her display. I could see what we could have been, but it was still hard to say. With all the emotions, it was nevertheless emotionless. Of the times, so cold I was also mixed with bold emotions. I was crushed by the thought of the notion. The motion that was connected in the emotionless situation we met. It was cloistered from the sea, Like me, just a kid in the middle of the ocean. It was all my devotion to you. It was secluded, broken open, superstitious notion, fiddled away like preconceived notion. Expressing emotion was the only hypocrisy I knew to see, opened in the bliss of the Arctic Sea, like it was so. Stared at me with its cold, salted attitude. For fucking Christ's sake, we struggled with the commotion.
I beat my drum, everybody to come running. And I beat my drum all the day. Alright, I'll rise in the morning, take the good news, carry it away. Take the good news, spirit it away. Farmer shall wear green ups for bows. Plowman shall heave his teams for the day. The hunter shall still his dangerous arrow. Take the good news, spirit it away. Take the good news, carry it away.
The life awoke my place in time. The life and death of a man in crisis was too hard to compute. I watched the fire as it rose more. Comparisons in the darkness. I met that in comparison with the carcass, the one you waited for when you spoke for more than you could bite. Whole lot of chatter surrounding me. I'm tired of it. Are you too wary for it to be astounding for you? I wait as you take off your shoe. It's astounding for you.
Take the good news.
But for me it was different to see. I opened my eyes to be chosen for free away from me. I'm on the south end of my home. You left her there on the cold night. Would you imagine what you did? Did you understand the extent of what you did to take away the passion you inserted that you would reach? It's not that outreached, but you took it and out-teach yourself to quit. Impeach yourself. I never decided to see the deceased, but you brought me there when you mirrored the each days you were out those days in the east. I visited the least greatest priest. What the fuck is my motherfucking part of speech? Sorry I never misspoke the rhyme. How is he so invested in the crime when he took it to the further line? I wished I knifed the chime. broke into fragments. I shattered his talons, defragmented paralysis, disabled self-analyst. Let me stop. I enter your mind, murdering it in real time. How come you are so afraid of the eye-catching I rhyme? Haven't been in London in a long time. On time, it's the wrong time. Full time, half time. Hop in that, never mind. The money wasn't that deep, steep for you to question, not for me to start stacking. The money was lacking, not investing. Arresting the money fraud. Money broad distances. It gets real sunny. It's burning my face real funny. Now that was a weak bar. Cheap, pure whore. I never invested in that fucking chore. Choose where you meet that allure. Not the magazine. Made me real power hungry. No Hitler sour country. Grabbing back, connected to the mother country. That real crazy, not trying to be on Twitter. It's real bitter. They behaving real counterfeiter out there. Unlike the pitch hitter, pitching no elevator fritter. John Real Ritter. Baseball call it a fake fall. Excuses for not being used. His use is bad too. It's lighting my fuses. Woke up to the sound of ugly. The people looking stubbly. The champagne looking real bubbly. I fit in my shoes whilst they spent too much on those choices. Real shitty life choices that if you can't afford, you know that's my accord to it. Lose it. Please ask me if you really lost the exhaust. Embossed messages meant like premises. The messages like the heaven sent, mixed verbal their consent to real, however, sent me to their ascent. The ascend further up the line, up the ladder, crime, shoulder, shrugging, fine line of disclosed, fine airtime, time to board and share time with the wind hitting in the air so calmly, it's felt like a lifetime. Guess we parted ways in the prime display. That was the underlining fact of it all. That day it was lost for a few years, but sometimes regained, for never know how it decayed. Justice in this era has been never settled in their seats. No concrete evidence to concede. Concrete, concealed, compelled, wished upon like hell, illusion, in solace he fell. It that the final conclusion, scorching delusion. When I open my eyes, I'm not good at guessing exactly what bothers me at times. There are less fathers for them to teach the youth. The booth is closed, only reserved for me and me alone, matching the topics alone. The waiter was called as I dug into the breastbone. What's wrong with a little breast with a jawbone, cradle like a jawline full blown hormone. BBL, fuck those loans. The bitch wants it, it's her choice. Don't try to make some noise with me and the topic of that. Sit down, kick back and let me chat about the lack of eyeballs deciding my every move. Are you ever lacking in proof or everlasting? Clueless by the far seen, truthless of this life, this useless idea. That's a cloudy deception of foolishness. Fuck you and your gang of exclusiveness. It shows a batch of brainless hooligans. take you on a trip through my mind. I was never kind towards the likes of a person like you. You couldn't chew the image I pursued, to take you and take you down in a matter of minutes. Have you stepped in a matter of limits? You quaff down that fucking Guinness down your throat, trying to make amends with me. Well, keep dreaming. It isn't free with me. You start to run. As I holstered my gun, I spun around the revolver. It didn't consult her as you spun around in circles, crying like an aimless pig as I dig your grave. Just give the fuck up, you depraved. You cradled to save yourself. I shot. Once it was too late, you landgraved yourself. What a waste of space, I told myself. Extravagant, I'm trying to match it. Drag a blunt faded away in some kind of array. Surreal experience, meet the surreal, delirious, curious case of hilarious and talented fucks trying to get a word through me. Have you noticed I didn't give a fuck? You lucky I cared enough to consult the word. The herd of people trying to control the narrative for me. What I was allowed to say or do, I haven't made the slut, but she thought she could make me. Then I faked her and turned that bitch back and took her back home. The streets galore, for you to follow the lore of the Lord. You put me on the map, I was put on the board. The lost record, reward, restored, drifted away in the sand. Oh, how I wish I could have her. That scent like lavender I ran, running through the fields that were green, but to me they were gray. The skateboard passing through the graveled ground as the wheels began to crack with rust, when the must of the wind blew me away in a twisted array. Went out, stepping out the door. The pouring rain had told the story. It was cold. Entering the car, start the fucking car. It was never on par with you. How you refused to tell me the truth. Remarkable youth, was it really what they said it would? But in reality it was just more or less half the truth. This is it, how we have come so far. This is not on par. You spoke to me, I hear you, like never before. I listen to you as you open my eyes. We are on a field. I don't care if this is a dream or not. I ask you if we are there yet. I look back to see a flock of birds resting on the herd of sheep. I was so weak. Are we so far gone? I daydreamed the plan in motion as we were participating in actions. We were so blind to see through the carcass we saw on the ground, to the wind and the cloud line we saw in the sky. Trespassing through the forest, it doesn't matter. We were trying to find it. That is why we are here for. Need I say exactly more? tired of the long nights in the places we have been before. I see you in display for the world to see. Was that your plan when you came to me? Asked me when it was proper to mess around with specific rules they have set for us. I remember the plain youth I did enjoy, but it wasn't so easy for you. Whilst he was there, I was missing you, but who knew the game I could purposely possess in my mind? Remember when we were talking on the steps of your porch? But I didn't ask where you came from, and I didn't care what mattered to you at the time. I thought that was clear, but you made accusations. When turned to me, I'm sorry I didn't know you had the crime to be affected by the mockery I had given to you. Wow, did I care what you thought? No, we walked for hours until you seemed to care about my life choices, how I might want to be multiple things, and you just questioned my appearance. You never changed, though, and I hadn't found the same woman again. Did I find something more with you than others? Maybe I did, but what does that matter? Further away was your house. I thought I knew your interests were floored. Sometimes you didn't question the youth of your own. That is why I didn't understand mine. The kids would make something up to push me down, but you had the whole school against you. Why was the facts too blatantly clear? Or was it you that was not very sincere with your life, whilst mine was far worse than you would ever imagine? But you didn't care, and I didn't fucking care at all for you. Trust me. was probably when you ran the block. I had to stop to see through your actions. But did that matter? I question you. Did you see the further life behind us? Was the world changing, or were you in the matrix? I'm not quite sure the difference or the deeper understanding of your mobility to swear for what was right or right. Does that any sense to you? I don't think so. I went to the Ave when we were younger, when you hadn't seen your father get away with the crime he fought from. Was that fair? It wasn't up to me to decide, so I never knew or thought of it back then, whether you thought it was fair or not. Everything was clear today, and nothingness was the key to everything. The only reason I thought it would happen was because we both knew how it would plan out. The death of your father was the soul that you lost in yourself. Afterwards, I saw the first fate you took on your own, the trust you had in him, the gang you insisted upon, and the familiar pain you remembered and received as well as I did. The child that was devoted and developed into yourself. Along the way, the times we experienced and enjoyed every minute was going, and gone the times we not near like they were back then. On the horizon, the phone turned silent when I walked in the room. The air was empty. There was no trace of you. That was because my love was inside the noose she built this morning. She was on the tree this evening. Nevertheless, I went back to sleep. Nevertheless, the people wanted to seek some truth, blamed me for it. I was dead as well after all. It was all eventually a dream. I guess fluorescence was key to meet me in the field where Alan and Keel were shot dead and rested in the lake by Nile. It was an accident, he had said. Well, if it was such an accident, then would have there been a call to act on it? I don't know. I never saturated upon it. Modern art seen at the ledge. Promise of the dream I left behind for you to see, carved by the window you looked through, as I looked through that window 10 years later, staring at the skyline and the wind that blew so calmly. Just like when we were in a relationship, how it was so fondly dystopian nights fiddled by the crevice of limelight, connected in life. of fine wine. Tasted we were sublime. How I wish you were here with me. I stepped outside and I made the breeze cover my face as it quietly went past. The radio was a blast. Inside I turned it off quickly to hear the phone call. There was no phone call, it was just that day 10 years ago when they let me know that the train was slow and it collided in the early March. It was low, the lowest point of my life, the mystery it was inside. You never told me your secrets, but now I felt guilt in me when I look at them inside the house you grew up in. I tried to feel nothing, but my tears couldn't quit. Just the storm was here to stay. It was acquitted. I fitted my shoes and shirt as I walked outside every day to try to find you. Yes, indeed, I never cried again. Don't mind you.